beautiful. I'm Sabrina, if we haven't met before, and if we have, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is appropriately titled Sailing Celebrity Style. While I am not an expert in cruising, I am an avid cruiser. I have a total of 4 cruises under my belt. The last 3, as an adult with grown children, I've chosen to be on a celebrity cruise ship. We just returned approximately 3 weeks ago from a celebrity cruise. I've had the opportunity to travel on 3 of celebrities' different class of cruise ships. We're going to discuss some differences between the oldest cruise ship Celebrity has in her fleet, which is the Celebrity Infinity, which is a Millennium class cruise ship. Then the Silhouette, which is a Solstice class cruise ship. And the newest for this year so far in 24, which is the Excel, which is an Edge class cruise ship. Let me first start by saying I did not do a video on the Infinity. At the time, I wasn't even doing YouTube, so it wasn't a thought for me to do. But I will talk about it a little bit, at least as far as my memory will allow me. And I did a little bit of videoing for the Excel. No, I did a lot of videoing for the Excel. Actually, I'm lying. I did a lot of videoing. So you can find a couple of videos on Celebrity Ascent. I think I said Excel. It was the Ascent. You can find my videos on the Ascent on my channel. And actually what I'll do is I will link them below in the comment sections. I probably could do more and maybe I'll work on that, but I've done a few that you may find useful. And my cruise on the Silhouette was to be rejuvenating, relaxing cruise. It was not about work. While I did do a few videos, well, okay, I'm going to back up. I'm not going to say it was not about work, but work was not the priority. My priority on that ship was to just regroup from a really long, hard year. And it was a short cruise, and we'll discuss that as well. It was a 4-day cruise, and it was just enough to rejuvenate my body, my mind, my soul, and just regroup and come back here refreshed. I did come back with a rather nasty cold, but fortunately, I didn't start feeling sick until we actually arrived home. So the trip was not ruined by my sickness. Okay. So I have some notes, so forgive me if I'm having to glance down a few times because I want to make sure I do not forget anything for you. So we'll start with an introduction to Celebrity. She's somewhere in the middle as far as age is concerned. You can certainly Google that. I didn't take the time to look that up. I do know that she has been what they call dry docked, and I don't know if refurbished is the correct word, but she has been redone. So she was a very beautiful ship. I was not disappointed. All of the ships are beautiful ships in their own right. The Silhouette is a very beautiful ship. As far as, when we're comparing the 3 ships, I believe the Infinity is not only the oldest in Celebrity's fleet, but the smallest as well. The Silhouette, I believe, would be the next in size. And then for me, the largest one would have been the Excel. I think if I had to choose one thing that I really loved about the Silhouette was all of the thoughtfully designed nooks. I will add that while doing that video, because my main focus was to relax, our first morning, I made it a point to walk the ship and do nothing but video so that I could get that out of the way. At that point, I hadn't quite figured out all the nuances of the ship and all of the, because it usually takes a few days to really get to know the ship. And I'm going to preface that by saying this was my shortest cruise. This was a 4-night cruise. And in my opinion, I'm never going to say never, but my preference would be to never take another short cruise again, unless it's on a ship that I've been on before. And that will probably take me quite some time because, I like to experience new things. So, I would probably try a different ship before I would repeat a ship. With that being said, if I did repeat a ship, I would consider a shorter cruise because literally what happens is by the time you figure out or by the time you explore everything there is to explore on a ship, and I make it a habit. It's like a little scavenger hunt, trying to find all of the little secret or hideaway spots that are on the ship to, that you can go and actually enjoy and relax and immerse yourself into. And Celebrity is famous for having those little quiet spots, those little tucked away spots that you almost have to search for. And when you find them, they're just golden, they're wonderful. And the problem with a 4-day cruise is, one, you're scouting them out, you're trying to find them all. Then when you find them, there are all of these other activities that you want to do. And it's on your list to get back to one of those, secret little coves or secret little spots or quiet nooks that you found. And you want to be able to sit there and enjoy it with, a nice book or a glass of wine, or just to have some intimate conversation with your significant other, or just some time alone to yourself. And on a 4-day cruise, there's no time to do that. Even though this cruise for me was all about relaxing, desperately wanted to go and spend a little bit of time in those little nooks. As a matter of fact, there was one that I will show you on the video that just looked so cute and romantic. And my husband and I did find it. We found it when I was doing my video in the morning. We actually attempted to sit in it, but I didn't realize it was only big enough for one person. So we kind of squeeze into it. But anyway, with just so many beautiful, well thought out spaces for just peace and tranquility scattered throughout the ship that I was able to find. But unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to go back and to really actually enjoy them. What else did I really love about the cruise ship? I think it was thoughtfully laid out. It was beautiful. I did absolutely love the live lawn in the lawn club. That was absolutely lovely. It's just always nice experiencing a new ship, and just the fact that as you're walking, no matter where your eyes land, it's pleasant and it's inviting. And, you feel like you've been transported to another world. I guess you have, the world of cruising, but it was absolutely delightful. I was trying to think of things that I love. And, I think my problem with coming up with a list of things that I loved about the Celebrity Silhouette was that I've experienced better. I think had I not been on the newest and best ship that Celebrity has to offer, I would probably be spitting out a slew of things to you that I absolutely loved about the Silhouette. So one of the things I am going to say is that we did run into a couple of people who had not been on a newer ship than the Celebrity Silhouette, and they had been on maybe even other cruise lines that were not as nice. And this was their first time on a Celebrity cruise, and they were spellbound. They were in love. They were like, oh my God, this is amazing. The ship is so gorgeous. The service is so terrific. They had nothing but wonderful things to say. So I will say to you, if you have not sailed on a newer ship than the Celebrity Silhouette, or if you have never sailed with Celebrity, that you will absolutely love the Silhouette. I enjoyed the Celebrity Silhouette, but again, I was comparing it to the Ascent, and there really is no comparison. So I was a little disappointed. I will say that just disappointed, I guess, in my expectations of what I had a taste of. Okay. And now let me say, so what I did not like about, well, I had the opportunity to cruise on 3 different classes of ship. I've also cruised on 3 different stateroom classes, which makes the comparison even more difficult. So maybe I'm not the person that you need to hear the comparisons from. So that's just a word of warning. These are my comparisons, 3 different classes of ship and 3 different stateroom classes. And I will say that I chose the stateroom class that I chose on this trip because it was literally just a 4-night cruise. And I thought, why am I going to spend the extra money for just 4 nights? And all I really want is just relaxation. I have no agenda. As far as I was concerned, this was a cruise to nowhere. We were supposed to stop in Key West and Bimini, Bahama. I've done them both. I wasn't really crazy about Bimini. I love Key West. Well, I like Key West. I don't love Key West. I had plans to get off in Key West. The day for Bimini was I scheduled a massage. I had no intentions of getting off. Weather was not cooperating, so Celebrity made the decision for the safety of the crew and its cruisers that they were not going to stop in Key West, which was a little bit of a bummer because I had planned on doing some shopping. And they decided to change the itinerary to Nassau. I've been to Nassau before, really didn't care to do it again. We did get off for about an hour, and that was enough. And I just got back on the ship. So, because this trip for me was not about the destination, but about the cruise and about just getting away from it all and relaxing and just healing my mind. And so, why a different class of stateroom for the 4-night cruise? Now I have to go jump back again. On the Celebrity Ascent, we did the retreat. And I will tell you, once you go to the retreat, you will never want to go back to anything else. Warning. So I did the retreat. I did the lowest class of stateroom on the retreat, which was the Sky Suite. On the Infinity, we did Aqua class, which I absolutely loved. And on the Silhouette, we did a deluxe veranda. Now, in a lot of people's minds, they may think that's no big deal. And you weren't really slumming it, not that any cruise is slumming it, but you had a balcony for Pete's sake. What are you complaining about? So I'm going to start with it's an older ship, not the oldest, because I've been on the oldest. But again, I had nothing to compare it to then. And then even then, the Infinity, it looked like an older ship. There was some wear and tear on it. The bathroom just wasn't the best for me. When I travel, my theory is always that I don't want to stay in any accommodation that's not at least on par with the home that I live in. I'm okay with staying on the same level. I don't want to go down. I prefer to go up because it's vacation, right? You want to feel like you're in a dream, right? So you always want to go up, but I'm okay with being on the same level. So, and again, I had something to compare it to. And so the bathroom in my mind was just not acceptable. It was small. Well, it was a little bit larger than I expected. It wasn't as small as the one on the Infinity. There wasn't a shower curtain. There was actually a closing glass door, but it was tiny. I mean, just to shower, I was bumping my elbows. So it was tight. And where I had a water closet in my Sky Suite on the Ascent, the toilet was literally right there. So there is that. The one outlet in my bathroom was not working. We did notify our stateroom attendant. It was not taken care of. So in order to use the hair dryer, I had to take it through to the, I guess you would call that like a little vanity that was in the actual stateroom that was near the slider for the veranda. I had to dry my hair over there. And what else? The other thing that I found extremely annoying is that I was pretty sure when I read in the description, it said you had a king size bed. Well, it was 2 twin beds put together and they were literally just pushed together. You could literally feel you could put your fingers between where the 2 beds came together. And I did mention that to my stateroom attendant and put a sheet over it. So that didn't really change things. So to me, that was an issue. And I'm going to say that my biggest, well, no, not my biggest pet peeve. Well, I have 2 issues that really bothered me is that when I compare the level of service that we received on the Ascent. And could it be that possibly it was a brand spanking new ship and everyone was, on their P's and Q's? And the fact that I was in the retreat. So that was part of it. I understand that when I'm in the retreat, I'm getting like high level. And yeah, I do have my celebrity t-shirt on. I'm getting a high level of customer service where on a large ship, especially, everyone knows your name. You give your name once, and from then on, they know your name. They're greeting you by name. They're right there to attend to your every need. When you leave the retreat to go, to be in any other part of the ship, even though people didn't know your name, they were extremely friendly, extremely warm, very accommodating. If they didn't remember your name, they remembered your face, especially if you frequented, a bar or something, and you still felt special. When I was on the Infinity, which was the oldest, smallest, it was very intimate and you felt special. The service was incredible. And I just recently watched a video from, I think, what are they called? JJ Cruise. And they did a trip to the Greek Isles on the Infinity. And they also felt the same way about the level of service on the Infinity, that it was top notch. And possibly it was because it was a smaller ship and, you don't just get lost in the crowd. But I have to say that I was extremely disappointed with the level of service on the Silhouette. I found that the crew was not nearly as friendly. There were a few instances where we did have great service, but it wasn't the norm. We found a couple of servers or attendants that were really great. And, we rewarded them nicely with tips, but for the most part, it was not the norm. Not that anyone was ever rude, but I found that most of the crew didn't constantly have a smile on their face, that there were times that I had to flag someone down to get service. That it just wasn't the same, and I was really disappointed by that. Because you're spending your hard-earned money, you're on vacation, you want to feel like you're their top priority, even though there are thousands of people on this cruise ship. You don't want to feel like you're on a cruise ship with thousands of people, and I just did not get that feel from the Silhouette. I was very disappointed by the main dining's food. It was mediocre, salty. And I don't like buffets. I don't like going to the cafe, but I was so disappointed with the main dining's menu that we chose to spend money on another specialty restaurant, which was good, which was the Lawn Club Grill. And I ate twice in the cafe, which is rather unusual for me, but I literally went to dishes that looked like they had not been touched, or dishes that I felt would have taken a little more effort to before I chose them. And I was pretty satisfied with that. When all else fails, there is always the pizza on a celebrity cruise, which is always amazing, especially the gluten-free pizza. However, I don't believe that's the case on the Infinity. You'll have to watch JJ Cruise for that one. And I don't remember the pizza standing out to me. I don't know if I ate pizza on the Infinity. I can't remember, but it didn't stand out. So, but on the Silhouette and the Ascent, the pizza is amazing. So I will say that.